Hello, and welcome to another YouTube presentation by myself, Claudette, the Managing Director of Energy Solutions, a leading renewable maintenance company in East Anglia. To mark the anniversary of our YouTube channel that's 4 years old next week, we decided to do another video on a very hot conversation point at this moment in time, glycol. Glycol, what is it and why do I need it in my air source heat pump system? The word glycol, a little 6-letter word that is quite possibly the one word that causes the most amount of arguments at the moment between manufacturers, installers and distributors of air source heat pumps. Does your system need glycol? Yes, shout most of the manufacturers. No, grumble most of the installers. Don't really care, mumble most of the distributors. So, who do you believe? Let's look at this in a bit more detail, shall we? You may hear glycol being referred to as antifreeze or heat transfer fluid. The correct term is glycol and is important for several reasons. First and foremost, it's a manufacturer's warranty requirement. Most manufacturers of air source heat pumps in the UK state within their installation manuals that glycol must be properly flushed into the heating system at a required dose to meet the minimum manufacturer product warranty guidelines. So ask yourself this question. You've just invested in possibly £7,000 worth of kit. Do you want that warranty to be excluded just because it doesn't have any glycol in the system if there is a problem? Another reason why glycol is very important is the extended equipment life. By preventing freezing and inhibiting corrosion, glycol contributes to the overall longevity and reliability of the heating system. It reduces the likelihood of major system failures and can extend the life components such as pumps, valves and heat exchangers. Freeze protection. This is possibly one of the most obvious reasons. Glycol is added to the air source heat pump system to prevent the water within the system from freezing during colder months. We do have cold months. We may not have had it this year so much, but it does snow in this country, even in East Anglia. And then you have the antifreeze properties. Glycol has antifreeze properties that allow it to lower the freezing point of water. This ensures that water in your heating system remains in a liquid state even in extremely cold conditions. Then you've got the expansion protection. So when water freezes, it expands. Then of course you've got corrosion inhibitor. The glycol-based products that we use also contain corrosion inhibitors. These additives help protect the metal components of the heating system from corrosion. And then the heat transfer. Glycol helps maintain stable heat transfer properties in the system. It ensures that heat is effectively transferred from the heating source to the various heating emitters such as radiators and underfloor heating. So how do you know what concentration level of glycol you have in your system? Well, I can't speak for any other company, but what we do as a service is that we drain a small part of the water from your heating system and then using a device called a refractometer, we measure the concentration of the glycol. And then we advise you accordingly. We're going to actually put together a YouTube video very soon to demonstrate how we actually do this properly. So why does your air source heat pump potentially have no or very little glycol in it? There's usually a few possible reasons for this. You've had a leak and the glycol has been lost. You've had some upgrade work, maybe some radiators changed or something like that, and the generous plumber that you've had round to do that didn't realise that the glycol was in the system and has just drained it off into the garden or whatever. Or, and this is the most common reason, the original installer company just didn't bother putting it in at install stage. Most of the work we do is servicing, repairing and maintaining various different renewable energy systems for lots of different customers, whether we installed it originally or it's a customer we've inherited through recommendation or word of mouth. On average, for every 5 new air source heat pump customers we visit, 4 either have no glycol in their system or very little. This is even more common in new build estates, unfortunately. Why? Why is this happening? I can only imagine it's because of the cost. In an industry now, unfortunately, where everyone seems to be an expert, and it's a constant race to the bottom in terms of price, most installers are adding this because it's just something that they can save money on buying. That's our opinion. But I can't see a logical reason as to why they're not doing it otherwise. Okay, so how do we add glycol to your system? At install stage, it's really easy. Once you're filling up the system, you're adding the glycol into it. To retrofit it, just a little bit more time consuming because I've got to drain down some of the heating system in the first place, and then using a flushing machine, we then flush in the glycol. We're going to also put a YouTube video together to show how we do this. But the way I like to think of it and explain it to potential customers is it's like running a bath with bubble bath. If you add the bubble bath to a already run bath, it just sinks to the bottom and doesn't mix properly, a bit like glycol. If you put the bubble bath in under a warm running tap, you get a nice bubbly bath where the liquid has mixed properly together. Same thing with glycol, although I wouldn't recommend you have a bath with glycol. So there we go. I hope that you found this video helpful. We don't work for or earn any kind of commission whatsoever from the manufacturers to put these videos together, or indeed the manufacturers of glycol. This is just our findings, and we just hope that you find it helpful. Thank you.